The reason why Fate has a subheading called Stay Night is because the story is so good you can basically binge watch it the whole night, but while you're watching it, you'll get a lot of different questions. The biggest question is, where the hell do I start watching all this? So in order to solve the issue, here is the perfect watch order to start the series. Ready? Let's go! Since the Heaven's Feel movie trilogy came to a successful harem conclusion, let's see how you should get started on the main Fate storyline. First, start watching Fate Zero. Fate Zero tells the story of the Fourth Holy Grail War, where 7 masters fought amongst each other for a Holy Grail. Each master got a servant, and all of them won the Holy Grail. This story is written by the same guy who wrote Psycho-Pass, so expect a lot of philosophical concepts, plus a tragic ending. Now that the prequel is done, let's move on to the original trilogy. This is the trilogy based on the original Fate Stay Night visual novel, and faithfully adapts the source material. Yeah, faithfully. So the trilogy is based into 3, based on the main heroine. The first is Saber, who is a reincarnated version of King Arthur. The first storyline follows her journey, and she basically becomes the main heroine. If you want to know what the romance looks like, it basically goes into something like this.
I was a boy in my past life.
Nobody cares, I'm unsheathing my Excalibur.
Next, we have the second route, the Unlimited Blade Works route. This route has been adapted by Studio Dean as a movie and by Studio Ufotable as a 26-episode long TV series. The difference is that in the Studio Dean version, you've got animation with 3 frames per second, and in the Ufotable version, you've got animation so great, you can basically hear animators crying in the distance. It's beautiful. The Ufotable version also gave Shiro more character development and made him look like a strong male character rather than someone who says, "People die when they get killed." In this route, the heroine is a blushing tsundere called Rin, and even though at first she is prideful and all that, later she calms down enough to show Shiro some dolphins. The final route, collectively known as Heaven's Feel, is adapted into 3 movies: Presage Flower, Lost Butterfly, and Spring Song. Here the main heroine is Sakura, but Rin sometimes gets the spotlight as well. This is also considered to be the darker route of the franchise and explores the mystery behind the Grail Wars and the mysterious 8th Servant. Once again, it is animated by Ufotable, which means it has the production quality to rival a movie. So good, I love it! That concludes the main trilogy. If you still want to see more of these characters, then you can play the visual novel called Fate Hollow Anoraxia, which means more sabers, more harems, and Emiya living inside a house crammed with 6 women. So is it all good with the main trilogy? Nope. Also make sure to watch this side story named Fate, The Case Files of Lord El Melioi II, which revolves around Waver Velvet, who, if you forgot, is this guy, and his adventures after the 4th Grail War. If you have completed all of that, then it is time to visit the spin-offs and alternate universes. Personally, I think the best spin-off to start would be Fate Apocrypha. It has the same Battle Royale theme, but with 2 main factions named Red and Black. So if Fate Stay Night was like that individual assignment you get at school, Fate Apocrypha is like group work with all your friends. And as we all know, those don't end well. Soon masters start fighting each other, new secrets are revealed, you've got a new servant class, more dragons, overpowered fights, Karna being best boy, and all ending in this climactic conclusion. After Fate Apocrypha, the next closest thing to a battle royale would be Fate Grand Order. This series is adapted by the famous mobile game, and we have a master and servant traveling to various time periods in human history to correct the events and set the timeline in order, so the future can be saved. Yup, it's Avengers Endgame, but with more servants, more battle royales, and more awesome fights, which is awesome. You can start by watching the Grand Order movie, and then watch Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia, or you can watch the movie, play the game to understand the story, and then watch Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia. You can choose the second option if you have enough time, but if you want to save time, then the first option is much better. Next, we have Fate Prisma Ilia, which is a series happening in an alternative universe, where the Grail War is replaced by magical wands, and the masters turn out to be cute girls. Ilia is the main character of this story, and this time Rin and her rival Luvia act like 10-year-old rebellious teenagers rather than acting like main characters. This series has 3 seasons, an OVA plus a movie. First watch the 3 seasons in order, then watch the movie, and finally get to the OVA. Now, if all that is done, don't forget about Fate Extra Last Encore. This, I believe, is the weakest among Nasu's works because it felt dragged and boring compared to the other Fate series. Don't fret because you've got Emperor Nero, who is an active and energetic saber who has a tendency to say ooh-woo. So, is the Fate series done? Nope! We've got 2 other extra series. This takes a comedic spin on the original Fate series and happens in an alternative universe. One is the famous parody known as Carnival Phantasm, where all characters of the Type Moon universe are thrown into this parallel universe where they have to take part in different Grail Wars, which all end up killing Lancer. Poor bastard. The second series is less comedic and takes more of a slice-of-life approach. It's none other than today's menu for Emiya Family. The basic plot for each episode is some event happens, it triggers Shiro to cook a delicious meal, then we get an animated sequence of delicious delicious food making that is enough to make Ramsay Gordon jealous, and finally everyone eats it, simple. But if you want to see the faces of your old characters and see them smile instead of cry, then this is a must watch. Nope, you thought we were done, we're not done! Lastly, we have Fate Prototype. This 12-minute animated short is what Nasu originally planned the Fate visual novel to be, so he kept this at the end. His first draft of the visual novel had Saber as a man, and the main protagonist as a girl with glasses. But after a fellow artist told him to switch genders of Saber and the main character, Nasu threw away this idea and created Shiro Emiya and Saber as we see now. The original idea was later animated into Fate Prototype and released along with Carnival Phantasm, so if you wanted to dive deep into some artistic interpretation and see how the original Fate series looked like, go take a look at Fate Prototype. And that, I think, would be enough to keep you surrounded by masters, servants, and holy grails for another decade or so. And if you watched all of this, don't worry, there'll still be enough Fate series for your grandkids to show their grandkids. And we're sure the universe will end before the Fate series does, because it never ends. And that's it for today, Fate Geeks. And now please go pleasure yourself with the like and subscribe button below. And make sure to not die or get killed until our next video. See ya! Take care!